Back to the street. This is MPN Cash Game in Vienna
with Chef Islam
and Martin Sturz.
I hope you guys enjoyed what you have seen so far, and there is more action coming up in the next couple of hours. In total, we're gonna host at least 6 hours of cash game, unless 5 players lose all their chips and bust. And why do I say at least? Because players will have the chance to keep on playing when all of them agree, up to a total of 8 hours. The cash game is hosted by the Microgaming Poker Network and taking place in Vienna, in the Montesino, which is part of the Concord group that has exactly 10 card rooms all over Austria, hosting a lot of poker tournaments, a lot of cash game action. Actually, there is also a cash game live ticker on the website, so you can check out which games are currently running when you're interested in Texas Hold'em No Limit or Omaha. You will almost find every offer which is in your budget.
So to the stream, if you guys just joined, you missed a lot of action, a lot of good hands. We started with 8 players who qualified on various sites of the Microgaming Poker Network. They played in 3 different free rolls, where the top 3 finishers got qualified for this event. The guys who got first started with 4,220 euro. The guys who got second started with 2,720 euro, and the guys finishing third started with 1,970 euro. They will be playing for 6 hours in total, or until 3 players left, like Martin said, and they can keep, or they will keep, the money. The remaining players will keep the money they have in front of them. In addition to that, there is a special bonus or a promotion. Martin will tell you about that.
Yeah, it's called Cash Drop, which means that there are some hands where there will be additional money given by the Microgaming Poker Network and added to the pot, and that varies, so it's between 50 and 250 euros, and it's going to make the play obviously more interesting, because players are trying to get the money and steal the money, even if they have not so good hands. If you're wondering if your online poker room where you're playing is part of the Microgaming Poker Network, you can check the website on which is mpn.poker, and you will find a list of all the networks that are part of MPN. For example, it's Betway, BetSafe, Red Star, Red Kings, Puff, Betson, Nordic Bet, and so on and so on. So I think it's a total of like 27 poker rooms who share the database or player base.
So I think you just find a link in the chat to the poker rooms Martin was talking about, and we hop into the action on hand number 49.
It actually looks like there has been some added or put some money or added some money into the pot, because players have, let's say, mediocre hands.
Yeah, Mirren playing from under the gun with Jack 4 living in. So we were not given the information that there was some added money here,
Yeah,
but it
but there
seems
is.
like
You can see in the pot, because those chips have a different layout, and there are at least 100 euros added, and it's a kind of interesting board texture with 3 kings, and Marinova is betting 110, trying to win the pot with Jack Deuce.
I think it's a good bet, as no one bet on the flop, and the king changes really nothing, so she can expect to get some folds. The best hands, there will be maybe some pairs under the 7, and it should look strong when she bets into 3 other guys, so I think it's a good bluff. Ahan thinking about making a move now, folding. Ahan, who is the chip leader right now, he is sitting there with 10k, I believe, right? He has won 2 huge pots, one against Lahunko, who started with 4,220 and sitting with 765 right now, as you see. Ahan won a huge pot with a straight against top 2 pairs in a 3-bet pot, and also he busted the one player we lost an hour ago or so, Henry Toffler from Finland, when he hit a set and got it all in on the turn against Toffler's mid pair and open ender.
By the way, when I prepared for this live stream, I actually thought the one thing I'm going to mention is why, for our not German speaking listeners, why pocket nines is also called German Virgin. And I actually missed it, because our friend from Turkey had pocket nines, and I didn't see nothing.
But I think you'll get another chance, I'm sure.
Yeah. I keep it.
And also, if you guys watching have any questions, anything you wanna tell us, share with us, just type in the chat box and let us know, and we will happily answer all your questions.
We have a raise from
also
Jankowski.
If you guys want to share the link or like it, would be very happy. And we go to hand number 50. It's Jankowski
Raising ace
getting
5
aggressive
from the hijack.
He has been tight, actually. He hasn't done a lot.
Yeah.
He hasn't been on a lot. Wow.
So Lahunko moves all in.
Lahunko, who has been very aggressive at the beginning, playing pretty well, then losing that unfortunate pot against our chip leader Ahan. Continued playing also with a shorter stack, quite a bit, quite some hands. Now thinking that that there are some weaker hands, and that Muren might make a move, might be on a move, and he was right. He had ace-5 offsuit, and now Marinova with 7s has a decision to make, and she calls.
It's actually the first pre-flop all-in we see today.
That is the first pre-flop all-in, yeah. Oh, there's 100, no, 200,
200, yeah,
200
extra.
in extra money. That's the reason of Lahunko making this move, and also the reason why Murin tried to steal it with ace-5, and Marinova obviously getting better odds now to call than without the added money. So we see a flop, Jack, 4, 3, 4. Only Marinova has a diamond, so he needs an offsuit queen or an offsuit 9. It's an 8.
So Marinova wins the pot, wins the extra money, and knocks out Lahunko. He is the second player to bust from Poland. Lahunko.
Good game, Lahunko. You did a good job here, I think.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to play the main event as well. So if you are participating, you might have a little edge there because you know how he plays.
Yeah, you have seen Lahunko play some good poker, getting unlucky, and losing a coin flip at the end, and unfortunately busting out. We will try to get Lahunko for a short interview. On the side note, the tour, the MPN tour, is starting tomorrow. It has his main event on the final table is on Sunday.
And there is also actually a lot of side events going on Friday. For example, there is a turbo tournament, and on Saturday there is the second. Well, the turbo tournament has a buy-in of 115, and there is also on Saturday a tournament starting at 4 p.m. called Austria Poker Cup, 150 buy-in and a guaranteed prize pool of 20,000. And we also have a high roller tournament going on, starting as well on Saturday, with a buy-in of 1,100 euros. Alright, I'm trying to catch our friend from Poland.
So you see in the chat box the links to the tournaments that are starting from tomorrow on. You can just click the link, check out the tournaments, and maybe you want to play one or two, and maybe you want to join us for the main event with a guarantee of 200,000. And as Martin wants to get Lahunko, Mr. Lahunko, to give us some of his impressions from this event, we will continue with hand number 51. When Ehan makes a raise with ace-8, he has been quiet for the last few hands. He had been active after winning the big hands, 2 huge hands. And Ehlers folds, Marinova folds, and we see on the button Murin with Jack-10 offsuit deciding to call. In a small blind, pretty good hand with Queen Jack suited, but he lets it go. I would rather see him call, as he has already 10 euros in the pot, and although he has the worst position after the flop, he has a pretty good flop, pretty good hand that flops pretty well, but he lets it go anyway. And Jankowski comes in with Jack-9, calling from the big blind, and we see a flop of 8 deuce queen with 2 hearts. So they all have a little bit of it. A hand with the best hand, with the middle pair. He has been betting a lot of flops till now, um, with marginal hands, with middle pairs, with marginal top pairs. So I expect him to bet. So he does. Mirren on the button he has position, so he could take his gut shot and either make a play with the raise, or he could call and try to win the pot later. I think either way is fine. I would not fold personally. When you call a hand like Jack 10 offsuit on the button because of position, you want to continue on this type of flops. So the big blind gets out of the way, and we have an interesting card as Mirren picks up an open ender, and Ahan has. We will probably check and decide. So he does. From his perspective, what can Mirren have? He can have a lot. He can have like the hands he has. He can have a queen. He can have an 8. He can have a flush draw. So it is pretty tough when Mirren bats. Pretty tough to continue with third pair, because you will, in these situations, you always have to think about the river. If you want to go and say, okay, I don't believe that he has anything, he has a flush draw or some types of hands like Jack 10, 10 9 or something, then you will have a tough decision on the river. Actually, pretty much on any river. On a heart, it's gonna be tough to call. On a 9, it's gonna be tough to call. On a Jack, on a 10. So I think he will let it go, and I think I'm not sure about the flop bet, but I think you will have a lot of troubles on the river, and it's a good fold. And that's the reason, like in this hand, you can see why you should not fold Jack 10 probably, because just because the razor pre-flop makes a continuation bet, you don't have to fold like when you have nothing. And Jack 10 on this flop, you have a gut shot, and you have some opportunities in the hand. If there's a hard and your opponent checks, you can bet and represent flush. You can hit a card and win the pot by checking down. So well played, Mirren. We go to hand number 52. I believe there is there's some added money of 50 euros. So there's more reason to attack this pot because of the added money, obviously. And we also already saw some raises and re-raises with not very strong hands in these pots. So we see Marinova raising to 60 with a very good hand. And now it is Jankowski who is thinking with King 6. He lets it go. And Ahan with 5-3. He will probably call because of the added money. He has been quite aggressive. So we could also see making some moves. Actually, in that big hand when he won a huge pot against Lahanko, he re-raised in a similar spot with added money with Jack 9. So here he goes, 3-betting with 5-3 offsuit, and it's Marinova with the queens and 180 to call, and so she does. we will see a flop. It is a very interesting flop. A-hand with an open ender. It's funny because the last time when he 3-bet Jack 9, he also flopped an open ender, and Lonko with top pair. Now it's over pair. His opponent is holding, and he bet large the last time with his open ender. And he bets again. Let's see how much that is. It's 330. We have Mr. Lahonko here, but he will join us right after the hand. So we see a bet and a call. Marinova with the lead. An ace or a 6 will make the straight for A-hand. It's a 6, and he has a straight once again in a 3-bet pot. This time against overpair of queens. So he's double checking his hand. If he still has the 5 and the 3, and he does. So I will tell you that the last time when he hit his straight on the turn, he bet huge. So I expect a bets near to 800, and I think it's okay to bet big because Marinova has been tight. He can expect her to have a very good hand when she calls a 3-bet pre-flop and calls the flop, so he can expect her to have a jack or better. So that's what he does. He bets 800. And I guess she is thinking for a little bit. I think she'll eventually call. Let's see what she does. It's a pretty interesting hand. So she calls. We have a huge pot, and that's a 3. So making the board a 1-card straight. So any 5 makes a straight. A-hand is thinking that Marinova at least has a jack, so he will definitely bet. The only question is how much. How much can she and will she pay? As far as I have seen him play, I'd say he will bet large again, but not that large. He went all in. Well, with Marinova's 3.6k left. So she has a very, very tough decision. The thing is, with queens, you have seen A-hand being aggressive, but you haven't seen A-hand being aggressive post flop without a hand. Every time he was in a huge pot, he had a good hand. He had a set. He had not straight. So what is he 3-betting and betting and betting and going all in with? What you be with queens? I don't think that he would do that with ace jack because she is very tight. She could have like such a hand like queens. So I don't think that you beat a value hand with queens. So again, you have kind of a bluff catcher with queens. A hand could have a random bluff. He could have like ace 10 and just putting the pressure on. He has a huge stack. He could think that they might want to keep their stack. Marinova started with 3,720, still has 3,600 in her stack, so he could be bluffing, but this time he has a hand. And Marinova lets it go. And another big one for Ahan. Marinova losing some with the queens, but a good fold on the river. And now we have Mr. Lehonko.
Okay. So go ahead.
Come in. Hi.
Hello.
So you get
Live? No. Yes. Live? Yes.
So this is Mr. Lehonko,
Hello,
live from Montesino. Welcome.
welcome.
Very good game. I think you played very well.
Yes, thank you very much.
And you can take a sip. So what are your thoughts on this event, on this structure? This event.
The structure is good.
It is very unique. It's like a new structure, something new. Cash game, but tournament style. Did you like it?
I play only cash games.
You play only cash game, okay?
Sometimes play MTT.
Yeah. Okay.
I qualification in this event on free roll.
Yeah, yeah. And will you play the events, the tournaments, the tour, the main event?
No.
Okay.
I think in this end event, Vienna Cash Games, I play cash game.
Okay, okay. And you were very unlucky against Mr. Ahan with Queen 10
Yeah.
when you had two pairs.
I think this my bet on the river because this hand drop cash games 2.5
250.
150 yeah
Yeah.
euro. Good EV sport.
Yeah.
Because I think Queen 10 offsuit is good card.
Yeah.
And isolate other player. And
Ahan.
Min race.
Yeah, with Jack 9.
And I think his hand is not enough strong.
Yeah.
And I have position
Yeah.
and good pot odds.
Yeah.
I call.
Yeah.
And I on the flop I had top pair.
Top pair.
And I call when aggressor she bets.
Yeah.
And my hand on the turn is strongest.
Yeah, it's top two pair. It's
yes, top
very
two
strong.
pair. No flash draw.
Yeah.
Only.
If he has a real hand like aces and kings, it's
Yeah.
very good for you.
Yeah, and river, my opponents bet.
I think
big bet.
1,800.
Yeah.